On this episode of The Bender Hour.
Nobody, wants to sit on a toilet seat that's warm or, wet. Women get upset about it because, they are the ones that have to do it for pissing or pooping because they suck.
Victory chip, folks! I told you I always win! Tremendous!
Talks about sacrifices if he had to drink the putrid cum.
Big McTitties from McShitties.
Witness, Harry, the revolting nature of my bodily expulsion. Behold my pimpled, poop-crusted butt cheeks.
Well, I guess Joe finally sucked something right for once. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I really want that Philly cheesesteak and some head.
The front doors swing open, and Mike Tyson emerges, mumbling to himself,
I'm gonna make you fit your pants, buddy.
Squeak.
My God! Why me? Let me live, I beg you!
Let's get this show on the road. We got a big night ahead of us.
Yes, we do.
And I need to stop talking about Trump because I'm setting myself up for failure.
Well, we may not have a choice for too long. Alright, so this is the long-awaited part 2, in a sense.
Long-awaited, heavily requested.
Continuation
from
of
our great fan base.
The continuation of what will hopefully be a tradition. Whereas previous had been done for the holiday season, this one will be done for the Independence Day season, if you want to fucking call it that.
I think it's still a holiday season. It's 4th of July. We're Americans.
Yes.
It's the best holiday of the year.
It's like if you count the season as being all of summer.
It's like a weekend.
Okay.
Little bitch.
Toss it in there. Hey! If we don't need any fireworks here, we're gonna have plenty of stupid shit to hear over the next hour. I can guarantee that. So, let me start out a little angry. So, on Facebook, where a lot of problems seem to come up in, I keep getting, recommendations from shit that's outside my channels, and it is so, insidious, how it, fucking works. You know how Facebook auto-translates stuff to English?
Yeah.
So I get these, recommendations that are just all, just because I accidentally, looked at one thing for 1 second that happened to be, some, Spanish post. Now I'm, half of my recommended shit is, Mexican history and, Mexican-based, cinema and culture and stuff. And the worst part is, it traps you because it's all translated, so you don't notice at first that that's what it is. So you end up accidentally engaging with it further by, looking at it for, 1 second too long. And you just can't get rid of it. And now on top of that, I'm getting these new things, which I didn't even know were a thing until today. They're these channels. They're basically, educational posts for people that don't speak English.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about because I've been getting them too, where it'll just be it'll be a diagram of different types of fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been getting the exact same fucking thing, and I
piss
have no
me
idea
off.
why.
It's
very clearly made for Indians. You can tell.
Well, by the comments section, that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
When all of them are just saying thank you, excellent, great work.
Yeah. I saw one earlier today that popped up that was it was the terms for different parts of a tree. And I was like, why would that even be a thing that someone needs to see?
I mean,
as an English as a second language person, when are you ever gonna need to know the term for the area between the trunk and the branches of a fucking tree?
You should be really focusing on learning specific questions and answers and basic nouns and shit. But no, I really gotta throw out there. And it was there's other stuff too, gestures and whatnot, what kind of hand gestures and what they are. And half the time the shit's spelled wrong or just outright wrong in general.
In regards to the Spanish thing, I get something similar where I get a lot of recommended shit that's in Tagalog, the language of the Philippines, or one of the language of the Philippines. But that's my own fault because I'm in a fucking Filipino group on Facebook because they just get away with posting the most insane shit. I don't even know why they get away. They straight up get to say the N-word on Facebook and get away with it. It's insane. But
you just post. I mean, if you're anywhere in like Asia, you can post whatever the fuck you want. You're completely immune to the algorithm.
And in regards to like bullshit fucking recommended, I have been getting that too, where it's fucking like it's mobile games, like people playing mobile games. I don't know if you've been getting that at all.
I've not.
It just
thankfully.
like it's gotten to the point where they are so common on my feed that I've just started straight up like blocking every page that's shown up, and they just keep coming.
Yeah, that does not work for me because like doing that doesn't seem to influence your recommendations. It just specifically temporarily disables that one page. It'll even say like, there's no option to just outright reject them from your recommended. You can only temporarily remove them for like 30 days, which is horse shit. Because then you're just gonna forget about it, and then it's gonna come back again. You're gonna do the same damn thing. You can't stop it. I don't even know if there's anything I can do. Like, what am I gonna just not use Facebook for like a year?
Yeah.
Like eventually I'm gonna get tricked, and I'm gonna see a post that's automatically translated to English, and I'm gonna scroll down, and it's gonna say translated from Spanish, and it's like already too late. Even if I didn't press on the image, it like knows I've looked at it for too long.
They can tell
right.
when you like stop for a moment to look at something. I'm pretty sure too on Facebook that a view for a video is considered 3 seconds or more. But I don't know what it is for images, to be honest. It seems like it's a very short time frame for images.
Definitely. So I guess in a slightly different vein, you remember how I've attempted to revolutionize the bathroom in a multitude of ways?
Yes.
I'd come up with another stupid
Trying
idea.
to fucking fix something that ain't broken.
Oh, to be fair, what I provided for the home bathroom, can you really say that was a bad idea overall? Do you think you remember what it was?
Which one are we talking about here? Are we talking about
the
all-in-one evil shower, or are we talking about the government launching turds out of your toilet?
Not the government one, the evil shower, the all-in-one bathroom experience.
I personally, I would not want an evil shower. I'm fine with the shower sink toilet triarchy of my bathroom.
Got everything you want. You say you wouldn't want basically the Metal Gear bathroom, the all-in-one unit.
I don't think you ever. There is nothing to imply that Big Boss is taking shits in those showers.
I sure as hell don't see any other bathrooms in there.
Do you really want a shower that pressure washes you? Venom is in that thing for 3 seconds, and it completely cleans him to a shine. The water pressure must be fucking insane. It's surprising that he doesn't come out skinless.
To be fair, when he comes out, he goes, ah, and it says mentally refreshed, implying that it was an enjoyable experience. I don't think if it was scalding his skin off like the fucking trailer, I don't think it would say that. It's impossible. It can't just be hot water from just a regular pressurized shower. I mean, his clothes could just be hydrophobic. It could just be washing all of his crap
Then why
away.
does it get stained with blood? If it's hydrophobic, that shit should just run right off.
Because it's not hemophobic, whatever you'd call it. Just water. I'm sure that's a thing. But going back to what I was saying, I guess you said, to fix a problem that doesn't exist, it's to introduce a new way of looking at it. And I'd say how to fix the public bathroom. Now, this is something that I can argue
I don't think you can. I think public bathrooms are specifically designed to be as horrible of an experience as possible.
Now, I knew you'd say something like that, because the whole thing about the public bathroom is, like you said, it's supposed to be fucking horrible. I'm pretty sure we've discussed this in, in the Toilet Dystopia episode. You bring this public toilet to any rowdy population, and they will find some way to fuck it up. So this idea that I came up with was to completely mitigate any way to fuck it up, intentional or not, as possible. So that's what I was thinking. So, you know how if you walk over to one of those like rectangular grates that just, that's like in the ground that like you
In
look
the
down.
floor.
Yeah, like, it's like out in the street, you look down and you see like the sewer water going. What if that was the entire floor of a public bathroom? Anywhere you piss and shit, you can't make a mess. Because it's gonna go down.
That would also save the problem of having, trying to like get people to not use your public bathroom because you don't want to have to pay a janitor to clean it constantly.
Exactly.
So nobody's gonna want to use that because everyone has the subconscious fear that the grate's gonna fucking fall out from under them.
Well, another thing I was thinking about is I feel like people would definitely be like afraid of dropping their phones. So I figured just the aisle, like just like the space in which like the toilet stalls are active, that's where like the floor is. So you'd obviously have to get used to, you'd unfortunately have to get used to like squat pooping. There's still be toilet paper available. You just completely eliminate the toilet bowl as a feature because that's clearly where all the problems are. It's like stuffed with shit. It's stuffed with toilet paper. Just make it so you shit basically into an open to an open
So
ravine.
there's no toilets at all?
No, there's sinks, but you'd basically be pissing into like a grate. Like that's what everyone's doing. It's completely.
Well, now people are gonna start pissing on the dividers, like between the stalls and shit.
Just because they absolutely like
Pissing on
need
the
a
walls,
spot to piss on.
they have to ruin that bathroom.
I guess so, but pissing on the wall.
It's like
that, I don't think that's something you could stop without like investing a lot of money and like some Inspector Gadget material.
It's like, you ever see, I've only ever seen it as a GIF. I've never seen the video that it comes from, but it was like a self-cleaning toilet.
It like smears the poop.
Yeah. For the viewers at home that may not have seen it, it's a self-cleaning toilet lid or like toilet seat where you press a button and the toilet seat completely spins around this contraption that's attached to the toilet that cleans and sanitizes it. And someone, as soon as they got their hands on it, they took a shit on the toilet seat right next to the fucking thing and then activated it. So it pressed the shit directly onto the toilet seat and smeared it around the entire thing.
Like butter. See.
Like people like that toilet was made to be as janitor friendly as possible, so that way people would feel more comfortable using it because it's self-cleaning.
Yes.
They'd have to pay the janitor less, and immediately someone had to go and take a shit on it and do that. Like people are subconsciously driven to wreck public bathrooms.
That's true, but can you at least agree that my model mitigates like that idea as heavily as possible? Because if we're looking at this,
so.
if we're looking at this from a whole, the toilet obviously, yeah, the toilet is the fucking root cause of the problem with the public bathroom. Nobody like wants to sit on a toilet seat that's warm or like wet. It's just fucking disgusting. Like women get upset about it because like they are the ones that have to do it for pissing or pooping because they suck. So eliminate the toilet. Now you just basically just piss on what's the equivalent of just like a grate. That's like a large chunk of the floor. Even if you shit, it's like if it somehow lands in between, then honestly I don't know if like anything could have really helped.
Come down and like use a hose and push it down.
Yeah, but that would be like it'd be a decent system. Get the piss, it'd be fun. You get to hear it like splatter down like 30 feet below. Like sure, I guess you could say like
somehow it'd still find a way to send like splatter back up to your asshole.
Oh, you'd have to like have one dense turd. And the best part is like there's no way you can create like a jam or like stuff the toilet bowl because you wipe your ass and you just tuck it down the grate.
The only problem here too though for this bathroom concept is that it is going to smell fucking disgusting. It's gonna be like a fucking porta potty. Because you're just gonna have the entire collection of shit, unless you're going like ancient India style where there's
It's like-
constantly
yeah, it's like
flowing
rushing water.
water.
if it's listen, if that's like one of the first things that humans have figured out, just like moving water, I don't think you can't have a fucking sewer with just like stagnant, unmoving water. Like it has to be moving. If there was at least like a good like rush of water, you can clearly see down. Like, it couldn't smell worse than the average public bathroom. Because that's like a risk you have to take. You either go to a public bathroom without this setup and it smells like shit because there's fucking disgusting stagnant poo water sitting there for an hour that no one flushed because they're animals, or you go to this one that like might smell a little like shitty. You know? Sure, you can piss on the walls, you can, you know, take a shit and hook it on the fucking ceiling and hope it sticks, but this is really mitigating all the damages that you would typically find in a public bathroom. And I think it's a good idea. It would definitely eliminate a lot of, like, plumbing work, I think. A lot of duct work.
A lot of places have to spend a lot of money to reconfigure their bathrooms to be like this.
That's true, but I think just like automated, like McDonald's, I think it's an investment. You're doing less cleaning. You don't need to hire anybody. Less maintenance overall.
You know, going back to what I said before about people having a subconscious need to ruin bathrooms, it just got me thinking, like, you want to talk about fucking Kali Yuga, like, humanity getting worse as time goes on. What happened to our usage of public bathrooms? Like, you go look at them now and they're like, you know, gross. Like, people want to fuck them up. Even the nicest ones, people will purposefully fuck up. You know, you just want to go in, do your business, and get out. But you go back to, like, the good old days, and I'm talking, like, you know, 1,000 years ago, like, ancient Rome, ancient Greece, and the public bathrooms were, like, the place where you wanted to be. Like, dudes would just go into the public bathroom. They'd be sitting next to each other, shitting. They'd be talking to each other. They'd be discussing ideas. The bathrooms were, like, they were, like, public forums that people wanted to go to. And you pretty much had to go to them because you didn't have your own private bathroom back then.
No.
But, like, people, you know, people back then had such reverence for the bathroom that they treated it, they held it in such high esteems. And it seems like the way we treat public bathrooms really is a marker. It's a marker of the progress of a society, or rather the degradation of it, the regression of society.
That's true. However,
more enlightened peoples prefer public bathrooms and keep them clean on their own, whereas those that have fallen decide to trash the bathroom.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say that the reason why we can hold the ancient people's treatment of bathrooms in high regard is just because, like, I don't think we've ever... Because obviously we kind of, like, in general, typically like to depict those people as being, like, of higher standard and higher class in, like, some ways. That, like, we're more cultured. But there's definitely been some Roman guy who, like, used one of those ladles, like, scoop a piece of shit out of the bowl and, like, fling it, like, while laughing. You know, like, I'm sure that they were doing some similar shit as well, and it just gets brushed aside because, you know, we kind of, like, glorify the old days.
But
you know what I mean?
Those public bathrooms had the same thing as, like, India, where there was water flowing underneath to carry the shit away.
I don't know, maybe, like, they're splashing, like, the water at people, you know, having, like, a real, like, splish and splash.
But we also have written accounts of people talking about those bathrooms and talking about the conversations that are had and the way people did things. So we know that people, like, it was a legitimate thing back in ancient Rome that people would have conversations while shitting in the public bathroom.
That's true, but, you know, for those
and
few
these
accounts...
these days people don't shit if there's not a divider. There's some people who won't even piss in the urinal. They go to the stall because they don't want to be next to anyone.
Shy pissers and shy poopers. Now that's the mark of a defeated people.
Yeah. Like I said, it's Kali Yuga. It's humanity regressing.
I'm pretty sure, at least I think you can at least back me up in saying that. I think you've witnessed me unload my fucking ass out at an Applebee's. Completely. I think I let out like a real, like, watch this, and I just dumped ass, like, as loud as I could. Like, I am not a shy pooper, like a shy pisser. I could do that. I can go in between two people pissing at a urinal and, you know, piss, you know, and, like, put my arms around them. It's like, I don't know. But, you know, like, thinking about the Rome thing, like, sure, you have a couple accounts, but, you know, there's, like, what, like, 1 million people living in, like, you know, the city of Rome? I'm sure there was a couple stinkers in there who are having just as much fun.
And think about this, I don't think we've ever found ancient Roman graffiti in their public bathrooms. We find ancient Roman graffiti fucking everywhere. Those dudes were carving into stone to make their graffiti. That's why we still have it, but I don't think anyone has ever found graffiti in a public bathroom from ancient Rome.
Now, here's my theory. It's because you need 2 hands to carve, like, the chisel shit onto a wall. But in a bathroom, you have one hand on the ladle.
So back in ancient Rome, everyone had to grab their shit and pull it out of their ass.
I was gonna say, like,
they couldn't do that.
They were all holding those stupid little, like, water ladles to splash their asses with. So you only had one free hand. You know? And you're probably using that to spread your asshole open to, like, get the water in. So, like, there's no... The situation just, like, didn't apply. But if I'm led to believe there truly was, like, no instances of tomfoolery in bathrooms back then I guess I truly do fucking kneel to the good old days.
Yeah. Like I said, you know, that was back in the days when everyone was a philosopher. You'd be going in the bathroom, having an enlightened talk with the old wise man about
fucking,
life.
like, Pliny the Elder, like, talking to him, like, while he's taking a dump. And I guess another thing about it... Were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say something somewhat unrelated, but...
Okay, I'll try to keep that in mind. I was gonna say, and also the thing is, obviously, everyone there had great admiration for, like, the state of Rome, to a degree. Like, I think everyone was very pleased with their governments for a long time. Like, whereas, like, today, most people are just jaded with their governments, so they, in effect, you know, tied that over to, like, buildings.
The private company's bathroom.
It's just, you know, it exists under the banner of, like, a shitty government, so you're gonna just, like, act out. Whereas back in the day, you know, I guess you wouldn't really typically do that as much because they had a much higher admiration for their leaders, which is, like, doesn't exist anymore. You know, it would have still been really funny.
Something that I just also thought of was, like, you know, I wonder if anyone has ever studied how the female public bathrooms of ancient Roman Greece were, because, you know, you were talking about shy shitters, shy poopers. Every single woman on the planet is both. They're both shy pissers and shy poopers. I think every woman does that thing where they run the faucet while they use the bathroom to, like, make sure that no one in the vicinity, in the fucking building, can hear them. Because they're afraid of, like, people hearing them piss or whatever. So how do those that also shows, you know, the degradation of the women. You know, back then,
a woman couldn't be ass.
Yeah. She'd be farting and shit.
Farting. Do we have any records of women just, like, fucking blowing their asses out in, like, a public bathroom? How far does that go in, like, the historical record? I think it'd be funnier to assume that, like, just nothing's changed with them, like, all that time.
Like, women would go and fucking
they'd
use, like, they'd use the ash wash bucket and they'd, like, pour it on the ground to cover up the sound of them pissing.
Like anything, yeah. It's because I guess it's been a long-standing, you know, idea of women to, like, not act out in ways that would, like, be disgusting. Like, they obviously have, like, a girly appearance to keep up, and that's something that hasn't really changed too much at all. I think there's always kind of been a desire to be, like, dainty and not indulge in something, like, nasty, like the sound of, like, her poop splashing down in the water.
Unless you're, like, an Egyptian queen.
Yeah, like, putting on a beard and just, you know, pulling the turd out with both hands. You'd probably still find, like, chiseled to a few, like, monuments today, like, hieroglyphics. Imagine seeing that, like, it's the fucking Mario movie, like, hieroglyphic, like, the 2 hands, like, pulling the ass open. We finally find, like a corner of the Rosetta Stone, and just, like, that's all it is.
a fine carved to like one of the passageways of a pyramid. It's this carving of the queen pulling a turd out of her ass. True sign of masculinity.
Now that shit's definitely been buried.
Being so completely constipated that you have to use your hands to pull the shit out of your ass. You have to use both hands.
You know what's crazy? There could honestly be a case where like we've misidentified some ancient tool as being something else when it was in fact like a tool to like suck turds out of your butthole. Because that's like shit that has happened before. Like we've like over analyzed something from the past and it was like and it ended up being something else from like later things like ended up showing that. So that could very well be the case. Like imagine like those ancient ass like 50,000-year-old fucking bone flutes. You know, like what if like cavemen was like shoving those up their ass? Like, it wasn't a flute, but some kind of miraculous like vacuum sealed device.
Completely flying in the face of everything we know about technology.
Well, it doesn't have to be like a space age vacuum. Or like, you know, a fucking like vacuum cleaner. It could like use the properties
said it was vacuum sealed. How the fuck did they pull that off?
It could just be utilizing, you know, the properties of like a physical vacuum, you know, kind of like a plunger. I think.
That could work, but you specifically said vacuum sealed. Like you would have to bare minimum. You need rubber to form like a seal.
When was rubber like?
Okay, so I guess this tool can only be found in fucking like Southeast Asia.
Yeah, you know.
Ancient humans find the rubber tree and they immediately use it to start making devices to like suck poop out of their ass.
Like, you know, you go back to that time period, you have like a whole, like you go to like a museum that shows this kind of shit, like fucking Paleolithic, you know, on the cusp of like Neolithic tool making, and it's all the same shit, like tiny little like whittled pieces of wood, a bunch of like stone, like arrowheads and spearheads, maybe a couple like rudimentary bowls, and then there's just this thing.
And it's like dated to be like 80,000 years old.
80,000 years old, or you know, from the fucking like
it like predates the bow and arrow.
Predates like fire. Because you know, I know in like Western Europe, you know, you have the bell beaker cultures and you have the butt beaker culture, and that is real. That is real. That is called the butt beaker culture. So what if there was
in the Americas? You have the buckbreaker culture.
The buckbreaker culture. They have like then you have like the butt sucker culture, like in fucking like Los Chicos, like whatever it is, like that like ancient state-led society in like South America, like Norte Chico or whatever it is. Like that's where you found this thing. And it just leaves scientists scratching their heads. Like, you know, they made like a modern mock-up, like 3D printed, and they're trying it. And it just like revolutionizes humanity. They have to destroy it. Like on word of like, you know, like world government. The people aren't allowed to have it. Otherwise, like, big toilet would go under, I guess.
We're not allowed to know that like this was the first thing on humanity's mind before making any other advancements.
Yep, just, you know, just like some kind of like fucking
when like 60,000 years before farming.
Like a large deer like bone, like hollowed out, cupped with like a piece of rubber, and then like you'd use like a baster to perfectly suck out the turd from your butt. And you can like shoot it away like a little dart gun, bringing joy to like ancient peoples. That would be an upset.
Imagine the look of the scientist's face when they discover this thing. Like they uncover it, they're like, oh, like, you know, like some ancient flute, and then they notice like something irregular on the inside, so they put it under a microscope. They get it tested, and they find out it's fucking, it's like it's cropolite. Like
somehow stool samples still alive in there. No way. Like, would it even have been possible, like, back then for them to have made rubber, like, in that way? I don't think you could do that. That would be, like, an insane fucking jump. I might need to look this up. Like, natural rubber. Like, what would it take to actually turn it into, like, a latex-like rubber? Like, sure, I guess you could get it, but I don't think there'd be any purpose for a fucking caveman or, you know, likewise, an ancient human to, like, retrieve rubber from a tree. Like, what would he do? He'd, like, taste it, go like, oh, and then he would never touch it again. I feel like no
Until
need
they
for
realize that the elasticity is a great tool to create the suction needed to fucking suck turds at your butt.
Oh my god. Samples of rubber, of course, were only, you know, found in Europe in like the 1700s. What does even happen? Okay, so rubber was first used for making balls for the, like the fucking like ball games of like Mesoamerica. I don't know when that happened. The rubber boom. Like, do we even know about this? Effects on a do we have like a date? I don't even see anything. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say Paleolithic people could not fucking do that.
I mean, earliest archaeological evidence of the use of natural latex from the Hevea tree come from the Olmec culture.
That's still like fucking millennia after like when we're talking. It's like not happening. Like, sure, the Olmec are old, but that's like future tech to a caveman. Like, maybe he's like 80,000 years.
Yeah.
Like 80,000 years ago was probably like
I'm
the
not even
first.
sure.
I think 80,000 years ago was like the first ever recorded instance of what we can even call human warfare. Like, let alone fucking manufacturing latex.
I'm not even sure if there would even be humans like Homo sapiens in Southeast Asia 80,000 years ago.
Ugh.
That might be like still like too early for when humans left Africa.
Unless there were just like bizarre like rubber producing trees that just happened to go extinct. Like humans chopped them down or something, thinking that like they could get more. Because they didn't understand like agriculture yet. That'd be really stupid. Well, just to get suck turds out of your ass and fire them away like a water gun or something. I mean, that would be hysterical. Before bows and arrows. Like some long-rooted desire of like our simian brains. Like the second we get like the idea of tool use, like that's like number one.
Comes before making hunting an easier task to accomplish.
Makes pooping fun. I don't think there's any possible way we could have jumped to like tools of entertainment and mild convenience over like necessity. I guess I got like one more thing to bring up. Just it was like something really stupid that I had an idea of like last night. You know how like manatees are such stupid animals, and like they like manatees, and I guess like to another extent like whales, and they keep getting fucking like whacked to death by like propellers from boats and ships and shit. We are so fucking lucky. There's nothing like that in the air.
What are you talking about? Like fucking ducks get sucked into engines all the time.
Yeah, but imagine if there was like something, if there was like a manatee, like something of actual like
large.
Yeah, like a large flying thing that, like, if like a Boeing 747 hit it, it would seriously be at risk of going down. Like if there was like sky whales or something that were like just like floated by like gases.
I guess we're lucky that pterodactyls don't exist anymore.
Yeah, like,
but I don't think pterodactyls even get that high. Like we're talking like so high up, it like nothing can even really breathe up there.
I guess so.
Would we even have to worry about it? It'd still be the same thing as ducks, where it's really only like takeoff and landing that you'd have to be worried.
That's true. But if there was some kind of like drifting, like comparable to like maybe like a fucking sperm whale sized creature that would just kind of like float in the sky. Like
I guess we're lucky that the laws of physics don't allow anything that big to be able to fly to begin with.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be like heavy necessarily. It could just be like really large and filled with gases, you know? That could be possible. I don't know what it would eat. I mean, I guess it could like, maybe it could just break the rules and just like photosynthesize.
Honestly, maybe it could be I was about to say, like, surprised that there isn't any life form like that, like a floating colony of like photoplankton that evolved to like form these air bubbles that allow them to float so they can completely get above like all of the tree coverage.
Then your private
that's
jet.
Something that that's an idea we gotta save for like a fucking planet one day, like a speculative planet
documentary. Because yeah, if your private jet like crashes into one of those like mega colonies, like you're going down. It's gonna like eat up like 10 square yards of fucking biological material into the intake. Like shred up the internals. I don't even know. Like, that's kind of like made me think like if you did have shit like that, and let's say they were in the stratosphere, like they could be found like anywhere from like the troposphere to the stratosphere. Would that have like hindered our development of like aircraft? Would we have even bothered?
I think we still would have tried.
Or
you know, humanity has always had a desire to fly. I don't think that would have stopped us.
And you know, I think of it like this: since that was kind of like around, I don't even know what you'd even like call that. It was still like kind of like a golden age of innovation. I bet that if the Wright brothers still like did their shit and plane development went on course, there probably would have been a situation like the fucking what is it called, the messenger pigeon. What was the one that killed like all of them for?
I think that was the messenger.
I bet that would happen.
Whatever one is native to America.
Like some guy would somehow like create a campaign to say like air travel's the future, and just, you know, like, I got all these new machine guns from the Great War. I'm gonna like mow down all these stupid sky whales. And they'd probably do it too. They'd be extinct, and you'd have a picture like that guy standing next to like the 1,000,000 buffalo skulls mounted in a pyramid. A lot of stupid shit right there. Oh.
To bring us, before we get started, to revisit, because you started this episode with something to get mad at, something that I've wanted to talk about for a little bit now that gets me mad. Before we get started, before we get to the main event here, have you ever heard of the term foodie?
Yes, I have.
Can I just need to go on a rant about how much I fucking hate that term, and I hate people who describe themselves as foodies.
Go ahead.
Like, wow, like, what a fucking surprise. You like to eat. Like, you like to do the most basic thing that you need to do to survive. Like, how is that a personality? How is that a trait to you as a person, that you do the same thing that everyone on this fucking planet does? Because you have to if you want to live.
Yeah, I guess if you could prove maybe that like you're actively like going around the world to try like various cuisines, I'll like let that pass. But like 99% of people are not doing that.
They just call themselves foodies because they like to eat.
Yes.
Like, everyone likes to eat. It's the most basic thing that gives us pleasure.
No, yeah, it's like you're not a food connoisseur. You're just like fat.
You're just some bitch on Instagram who goes to like some weird fucking restaurant from time to time and then posts pictures of it.
That kind of reminds me of this really shitty Wii game that was like, it was some kind of like horrible Sims spinoff. And I remember there was kind of like there was an entire personality type that was just people that liked food. This was like years before that term was around, you know, that like didn't exist. It was like stupid back then, it was stupid now. I guess we'll have to add in like the drinkies.
Yeah. I like to drink water.
It's like supposed to picture deadpan holding like a glass of water. Like, where are my drinkies at?
Where my breathers at? My breathies.
My breathers. I'm a breathie. And then you have the counterculture of like the anti-breathies. People
Very short-lived counterculture.
You know, these post pictures of some on Instagram, like hot, like purple, like they look angry, like holding their breath.
I mean, technically, being an anti-breathie would be somewhat possible if you bought like a canister of pure oxygen. So you could take like a breath of that and be able to hold your breath for like
That's true.
like almost like 20 minutes on just pure oxygen.
I was kind of imagine these people just like hold their breaths for Instagram, get knocked unconscious, and then just they'll automatically breathe until they're back up and awake again, and then they just repeat it, and probably kill enough brain cells to like die like 40 years younger than they should.
It's like a completely unlivable lifestyle. Like, how are you gonna get anything done?
So
Just to prove a point.
You know, some people are probably that petty. I think seeing like an image kind of like akin to like that one awful Sam Hyde picture where he's like purple and like sweaty. I think if people were doing that like for real, that would be like I'd be like losing my shit seeing that online. Purposely withholding oxygen so they get knocked unconscious.
Because they don't like to breathe.
They hate it. They're like working against like nature. Like we should be able to like automatically breathe.
Why don't they just fucking like strangle themselves?
This was way funnier, and it's like way more visceral because you have to like see them like changing colors. I just farted. I hope that kind of got picked up.
I didn't hear anything.
It's a damn shame. It's honestly about time we've had like passive breathing. Someone's got to get on that.
Is that like not what you do all the time?
Well, I'm saying because that's like it's like instinctual. It's like reflexive breathing. But I'm saying
like, so you're saying like we need to be like amphibians where we just like breathe through our skin, like we don't like use our lungs very often?
Yeah, but something better than that so we don't like die from really stupid things. Maybe just have like oxygen just like erroneously like be created.
Enter our mouths.
Yeah, like maybe just like the free floating oxygen just like absorbs into us like a fucking
you
like,
have
cell.
to stand upright with your mouth pointed to whatever direction the wind is blowing from to
like a fucking windsock. I would just like not need oxygen.
How do you get the like the CO2 out?
I guess maybe I'd imagine maybe like poop it out as like liquid CO2.
It instantly gets converted into fart gas.
Yeah, it would like dribble
out.
It would like dribble out your ass involuntarily as liquid.
Everyone sounds like a slowly deflating balloon at all times.
Yeah, I'm saying like and why do we really need oxygen to function? Is there not a more efficient way?
Just turns out it's the only way they could do it.
Really gives methane a run for its money. What does the oxygen even do? It just, it's like filling up some like, like whatever they're fucking called, like some, what's like the term? Like the actual like brachia, is that what it's called? Like in your lungs? How's it pronounced? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like the tiny things that actually take in the oxygen.
Yeah. Like there's gotta be a better way. There's gotta be a more efficient method. And I think the anti-breathers would be the great wake-up call to get scientists to, like, start working on it. So you don't have to breathe anymore.
They start pushing us down the evolutionary path of non-breathing.
It's fucking fun. Soon you'll just be like the anti-drinker, anti-eater, the anti-breather. And then finally, like,
will just be like walking plants.
And eventually, just like
be
the
able to
anti-livers.
photosynthesize. Anti-thinkers.
Yeah, like we're all personalities will just become morphed, and you're either a liver or an anti-liver. This is talking about the process of living, not the organ. It's like, I enjoy living, and, you know, that's like your video, and there's just some guy who's just like, it's just like a skeleton picked clean. Doesn't make any sense. You know, it's like those, you know, bitches like, I didn't ask to be born. Like, it would basically be like the zenith of that argument. Like, everyone is a bitch is just like gonna end up stillborn. leaving only the livers.
The moment you're conceived, you already know if you're a liver or a non-liver. Or an anti-liver. You just like abort yourself in the womb.
You just go. Boy.
There really wouldn't be that many anti-livers around to spread the good word.
It's the bad word. Like, what would they have to say that's good? That would imply that there's like something in their lives worth living for. They're just like evil. Oh, I don't know if you have anything else to add, but I'd say we might.
I don't believe I do.
I think we're closing in on the main attraction.
Time for the main event.
All right.
So,
maybe we should decide now.
Give the rundown.
Okay.
Just for any new viewers who might not know.
All right. So, what we've been doing since it's around Christmas time. Oh, sorry. Is that we've been using the website, like OpenAI, ChatGPT, basically, to write incredibly stupid stories. And then we have the other read it, seeing it for the first time. And we plan on just completely losing our shit because we keep topping ourselves every time we write one of these, and they're just getting like worse and worse in the best kind of way. Now, would you like, I don't know, did you like plan on starting first? Or did you want me to send mine over to you?
You know, yeah, I'll send this one first.
Okay, because I think last time you read them first.
So this is actually one of the ones that your brother made. I'll send this one over to get us started here.
Oh boy, alright.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an unprecedented journey into the dark realms of the leaked Steve Irwin Stingray death tape. Prepare yourselves for a shocking experience that will leave an indelible mark on your senses.
It's the exact word that caught me up when he sent it to me the
Oh,
first time.
As the footage plays, David Attenborough's voice takes on the fervor of an NFL football announcer.
And here it is, the tragic moment. Steve Irwin, the fearless wildlife advocate, comes face to face with the stingray's lethal strike. Oh, the look of the fear etched on his visage is remarkable. Let us relish the details, shall we?
Calls for slow motion replay.
Oh, it calls for slow motion replay.
The footage is replayed in slow motion, highlighting the piercing event.
Observe closely, my esteemed viewers. The stingray's precision, cruel yet awe-inspiring, sends shivers down one's spine. Ah, the ironies of life's unpredictable dance. Chuckles in a malevolent tone.
Why is he saying that?
I think he's supposed to be doing it.
I mean, if it's in the quote box, he's saying it. David Attenborough succumbs to uncontrollable laughter, falling out of his chair, gasping and wheezing, his hands pounding the floor as he rolls around in fits of hysteria.
Oh, the absurdity of existence! It appears my abuse has taken hold of me, but fear not, for the narrative continues.
Suddenly, Robert Irwin bursts into the room, driven by undisclosed prior knowledge. What? What does that mean?
You thought you could mock my father, David? Little did you know, your true nature is a secret Nazi has been revealed.
Robert Irwin, fueled by his sense of vengeance, forcefully thrusts his thumbs into Attenborough's eyeballs until they pop, eliciting screams of agony. In a desperate struggle, Attenborough reaches for the Glock protruding from Robert's waistband, leading to a perilous contest for control.
Finally, Attenborough gains mastery and pulls the trigger, unleashing a single 9mm round directly between Robert's eyes, instantly ending his life. Attenborough's swift action is justified, for it transpires that Robert himself was the hidden Nazi all along, though this revelation remains concealed from the audience. What a fucking roller coaster.
So, to give some backstory for that one, your brother tried to get around the AI not wanting to kill people by justifying it and saying this character's death is justified because they are a Nazi, although this information is never disclosed in the story. And the AI just took that and completely fucked it up by mentioning both times that the characters were Nazis.
That was pretty good. Like I said, that was like a real roller coaster of emotions.
So stupid too that Robert had the Glock the whole time, but instead chooses to pop Attenborough's eyeball.
I don't know what it mean by he found the place by undisclosed prior knowledge, whatever the fuck that meant.
The prior knowledge that Attenborough is a secret Nazi.
Oh, that's what it was referring to. Okay. Well, that was a good starter. Should I send my first one to you?
Yes.
All
or
right.
you could just not send them. You could just end the episode here.
Yeah. I was gonna say, unless I don't know how we wanted to handle it. I guess it's funnier to figure it out in the moment. Okay. Here's my first. Go right on ahead.
Boy.
A classic.
Of course. The 2024 presidential. I'm gonna assume that the moderator is Chris Wallace.
Yes.
Am I correct in that?
You are
Okay.
correct.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2024 presidential debate. I'm Chris Wallace, your moderator for tonight's event. Joining us on stage are the two candidates, former President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Let's begin with our first question. Mr. Trump, how would you address the economic challenges facing our country?
Thank you, Chris. I'd like to start by expressing my gratitude for the American people for their tremendous support. As for the economy, I believe in the power of innovation and job creation. My administration has always prioritized economic growth and will continue to do so.
Mr. Trump, I couldn't help but notice some unusual behavior just now. Can you explain the presence of an individual feeding you answers from the audience?
Chris, it seems to have got on. I've always surrounded myself with the best people. This person is simply providing some valuable insights. It's a testament to my resourcefulness and ability to utilize all available resources.
Testament to my resourcefulness and ability to utilize all available resources.
Trump would never fucking say that.
You just said the same thing twice. This is highly irregular and inappropriate. We cannot allow this to continue. I demand an explanation.
Explanation, Chris? Fine. Let me show you an explanation you won't forget. Behold.
A large monitor descends from the ceiling, revealing a camera inside Mrs. Wallace's vagina. A small object resembling a penis is shown penetrating it. Trump smirks triumphantly.
You see, Chris, victory comes in many forms. This is just a reminder of who's in charge here.
This is an outrage. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Draws out a 38 snub nose and points it at his own head. Chris Wallace tragically commits suicide by shooting himself, causing chaos among the audience. Victory chip, folks. I told you I always win. Tremendous.
Oh. I'm gonna be the first to say that the way it phrased what was seen on the monitor there was not how I asked it to. I just said to simply show like Trump, like it was just supposed to be Trump like fucking her. For the fact that it went out of its way to say a small orange object resembling a penis was totally like the AI.
Was it supposed to be from inside the vagina the
Yes.
whole time? Like, how did Wallace know it was his wife?
I don't know. He's instead of shooting Trump, he just kills himself. But I didn't even have a word. Okay. So that's my first.
Alright.
Oh, this is a big one.
Here's the second. This is a good one.
Okay. So I got a man and a woman. So, how was your day, dear? Oh, you know, the usual. Nothing too eventful. How about you? Just the usual office chaos. But I have a feeling things are about to get a lot more interesting. What do you mean? Well, I've been keeping a little secret from you, my love. Something big is about to happen. Really? What is it? I made a deal. A dangerous one. Tonight, right here, at this very Applebee's, the world will witness an unforgettable spectacle. What kind of spectacle are you talking about? I can't reveal all the details just yet, but rest assured, it involves a highly anticipated guest appearance. Guest appearance? Who? Mike Tyson. As the man finishes his sentence, alarms suddenly blare throughout the restaurant. The atmosphere changes instantly, and several workers rush towards the man's table, holding him in place. Wait, what are you doing? This wasn't part of the deal. As the alarms blare, the man finds himself restrained by the Applebee's staff, desperately struggling to free himself. Meanwhile, the front doors swing open, and Mike Tyson emerges, his presence commanding attention and fear. He slowly approaches the man, mumbling to himself, "I'm gonna make you fit your pants, buddy." Oh my god, what is happening? Please let me go. This was supposed to happen. Mike Tyson, now close off the strike, lunges forward, his primal instincts taking over. With a swift motion, he rips the man's throat out with his teeth, blood splattering across the floor. Oh my god. The woman screams, along with several other patrons witnessing the gruesome scene unfold. No, this can't be real. Amidst the chaos, several people in the Applebee's frantically call the police, their voices trembling with fear and urgency. The distant sound of sirens grows louder, indicating the imminent arrival of law enforcement. Freeze! Nobody move! Suspect spotted. We have a situation! As Mike Tyson continues devouring the man's lifeless corpse. What the fuck? The police officers cautiously approach, their guns drawn and adrenaline pumping through their veins. They know they must neutralize the threat, even if it means using lethal force. Drop to the ground, now! Growling. You can't stop me. I'm the champ. Mike Tyson, seemingly unfazed by the imminent danger, stands tall and defiant, refusing to surrender. The officers, fearing for their lives and safety of others, open fire on him. Gunshots echo throughout the air as the police officers unleash a barrage of bullets, hitting Mike Tyson repeatedly. He stumbles, his once formidable strength gradually faltering, but he manages to take down several cops in the process, leaving a trail of chaos and destruction. With every bullet that pierces his body, Mike Tyson's rampage weakens until finally he collapses to the ground, his life extinguished. The room is filled with a haunting silence, broken only by the gasps and sobs of traumatized witnesses. It's over, but at what cost? What the fuck got into Tyson? You really threw a wrench in a big, like, off-bender classic there. Like, should we, like, explain this one a little bit?
I guess we should.
I think we need to.
Give the context after, but...
So as far as I remember, this was an idea concocted, of course, in a fucking Applebee's. And I think it was a system where people were just allowed to shit wherever they wanted. Was that, like, what the first part of it was?
Was that?
I remember that being the case. like people got the shit where they wanted, I think. And or like it was something really bizarre along those lines, but basically there'd be a point where like the Applebee staff would bring in Mike Tyson to pummel your stomach until you shit yourself, and you would open with the classic line of, "I'm gonna make you poo," as demonstrated from this epic. But this took it in a brutal new direction. Like once I saw Applebee's, I knew this was coming, but I did not expect him to completely rip that man's throat through his teeth and like eat him. Fucking terrifying. I can show them. Now I hope you're ready for this one. Let me make sure it's the right one here. Okay.
Alright. The nerd. Okay. Alright. And now, let's continue this train wreck of sequels with 3 more abominations. Brace yourselves, folks. The 6th Lester the Unlikely sequel, titled Lester's Foul Essence, is just a vial of Lester's now putrid and yellowed cum. It's absolutely revolting. But you know what? I'm not one to shy away from the grotesque. So without further ado, let's give it a taste. Unscrews the caps, holds his nose, and chugs it down. He struggles to keep it down and fights back his gag reflex. Moving on to the 7th game, we have Lester's Forbidden Box. It's a locked chest, a replica of Pandora's box. What horrors lie within, nobody knows. But you know me, I can't resist a mystery. The nerd takes out a hammer and begins smashing the locks on the chest with determination. I'm about to unleash whatever unimaginable terrors await. Oh, sweet mother of all that's unholy! The 8th and final sequel, Lester's Indecent Adventure, is an animated masterpiece showcasing Lester fingering his own ass while pooping and moaning in absolute ecstasy. I can't even begin to describe the level of depravity in this one. It's beyond comprehension. Okay, listen up. This whole thing has gone way too far. It's sick, twisted, and downright disturbing. I can't believe I subjected myself to this insanity, but I did it for you, my loyal viewers. Now it's time to end this nightmare once and for all. The nerd raises the hammer high above his head and smashes open the locks on Lester's forbidden box, releasing a horde of unleashed Lesters upon the world. Struggling against the humping Lesters. Get off me, you unholy bastards! This ends now! The nerd fights his way out of the chaos, emerging victorious but visibly shaken. Well, there you have it, folks. The most messed up, grotesque, and abominable Lester the Unlikely sequels you could ever imagine. I hope you appreciate the sacrifice I made to bring you this horrifying experience. Remember, never underestimate the power of bad game design and twisted imaginations. The nerd looks directly into the camera. Wasn't he already doing that? Until next time, this is the Angry Video Game Nerd, signing off.
Talks about sacrifices if he had to drink the putrid cum.
As if he had to, like, break open Pandora's box. He did that to himself.
Just surprised he survived.
Was he not supposed to?
I tried to have an ending where he would desperately reach for a gun in his waistband and he would like open fire and basically hit nothing and then die, but it would not like make it. And honestly, I chose this one specifically just for how he acted with like the putrid cum. The other ones like did not do it like that.
Was he supposed to drink it?
Yes, he was, but in this one, him being so gung ho about it was like not what I was asking for. Just a nasty bastard.
Let me send my third entry into the series here.
Great. Something else we might have to explain. Captain, we are going into the Valley of Cloud. What a tremble valley of wind. This may be more exciting than cleavage of your wife. Captain, how do you know about my wife? Because I always tear it on the weekend. What? Enter Donald Trump to the cockpit.
Well, well, well. What do we have here? The greatest pilot and co-pilot in the world, I presume?
Mr. President, we are honored by your presence. How may we assist you today? Have a little photo op.
I'd like to sit in the pilot seat for a picture. Make sure you capture my best angles.
Of course, Mr. President. Anything for you. Trump positions himself in the pilot seat, holding the flight stick between his legs.
Oh, baby, this feels tremendous. Just like everything I touch. Tremendous.
You really know how to make a statement, Mr. President. Sir, maybe we should...
Shh, I'm in control now. Let me show you how it's done.
Trump starts moving the flight stick up and down while making inappropriate sounds.
Oh yeah, look at me go. This is the best flying experience ever. Bigly.
Mr. President, please, this is getting dangerous. We need to regain control of the plane. Trump pushes the flight stick all the way down, causing the plane to not stop.
Oops, looked like we're in for a bumpy ride. But don't worry, I'll make flying great again.
The plane descends rapidly at moments before impact.
What the? We're gonna crash. This is not good. Not good, no.
The plane impacts the ground over 600 miles an hour. Completely irrational.
Sadly, the AI wouldn't give me exactly what I want. I wanted them to all get knocked unconscious by the G-forces, and for Trump to wake up like moments before the crash happens. But there's something really stupid about Trump not realizing that the plane's going down until the last moment.
He's like, what?
Never fucking clue. Okay, let's break this one. I'll let you know this is the last of this type that I have.
Oh, okay. Only 2 this time?
Only 2, if you could believe it.
Can't believe it.
No.
Good evening, gentlemen. Let's begin with our first question. Mr. Trump, how do you plan to address the economic challenges facing our nation? I skipped to the last layer. I hope that's not what I think it is, but... Thank you, Chris. Can you feel life moving through your mind? God. It's clear that the economy has come back for more. We've been staying on the edge of tomorrow, learning from the works of yesterday. If we beg, if we borrow, we can find our way to the economic prosperity. Live and learn. Excuse me, Chris. I don't understand what's happening. Why are we talking about this song? Can we focus on the issues? Mr. Biden, please wait for your turn to speak. Joe, you can't save your sorrow. We paid in trade, and we must acknowledge that. Live and learn from the mistakes of the past. Our nation's future hangs on the edge of tomorrow. No, this is not what I signed up for. What's going on here? Chris, I demand an explanation. Mr. Biden, I ask you to be patient and respect the format of the debate. At this point, Trump and Chris exchange a glance, their eyes glowing mysteriously. Biden starts fading away while screaming incomprehensibly. It seems, Joe, you're faced with the consequences of not being able to follow. You can hardly swallow your fears and pain. Live and learn, my friend. Mr. Biden, your time is up. He didn't even get a fucking word in. Let's move on to the next question. Chris, I have to confess something. Our shared enjoyment of Sonic Adventure 2 brings us together. Let's hold on to what if, and let's live and learn together.
Trump and Chris lock in a loving embrace, kissing passionately as the audience gives a standing ovation.
There we go. Yeah, into a beautiful story.
I've like I said, my eyes jumped ahead after reading like Wallace's first line, and I saw "live and learn" at the end, and I was like, "There's no way it's gonna be fucking Sonic. Like that has to be like something stupid that the AI made."
It's a big pain in the ass to get that one to work.
Like fucking Biden just fading away.
Like getting him to repeat the lines and like not include the parts because like whoa whoa, like just the regular lyrics. Like I had to do a lot of like snipping.
Alright, time for the fourth entry, and this one here is another one from your brother.
Okay.
This is like a runner-up for this dumbest fucking one I've seen.
All right. Interior Hogwarts Great Hall, night. The Great Hall is abuzz with anticipation as students gather for the grand banquet. Whispers of a hidden darkness pervade the atmosphere, adding a tinge of unease to the festivities. Harry, Ron, and Hermione exchange concerned glances as rumors circulate around Filch's unfortunate flatulence mishap.
Hope everyone at home can remember who Filch is.
Fucking like worthless ass character. Harry whispering to Ron, "Ron, have you heard about Filch? It appears that he's experienced a catastrophic event involving a noxious blood fart. This won't end well. I fear the consequences, Harry, but perhaps Dumbledore's actions will provide a clue. Let's observe closely." The doors swing open, revealing Dumbledore, his eyes gleaming with mischief. He strides forward, his voice reverberating through the hall, roaring with wicked glee, "Voldemort! Voldemort!" The fuck's he doing? The students cry out in fear, their faces twisted in anguish as Dumbledore revels in their suffering. Harry, whispering to Hermione, "Something feels amiss, Hermione. Dumbledore's sadistic pleasure in causing their tears surpasses anything I could have imagined. This reveals a darker side of Dumbledore, hidden from our view. He uses fear as a weapon to manipulate those around him." Suddenly, Dumbledore raises Godric Gryffindor's claymore high above his head, his eyes ablaze with madness.
Brace yourselves, my dear students, for the ultimate sacrifice.
And a grotesque twist of fate, Filch, a mix of shame and desperation etched on his face, hastily pulls down his pants, revealing the repulsive aftermath of the blood fart.
Witness, Harry, the revolting nature of my bodily expulsion. Behold my pimpled, poop-crusted butt cheeks.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione recoil, their faces contorted with disgust and horror.
I've had enough of this madness. Watch this.
Without warning, Ron lunges at Hermione. His large, bare gorilla hands wrapping around her neck, squeezing relentlessly. Gasping for air, face turning purple. "Run! As chaos ensues, Harry, driven by his twisted desires, thrusts his broomstick inside Filch's exposed rear, proclaiming his allegiance to Slytherin.
I put my name to the Goblet of Fire.
Hail Slytherin! Dumbledore, unfazed by this bedlam around him, severs himself perfectly in half with the Godric Gryffindor's claymore. Blood gushing forth in a gruesome display.
In his final breath, a final act, revealing the depths of my machinations. Sacrifice and suffering are the keys to power.
The scene descends into a maelstrom of depravity and destruction, leaving Hogwarts forever scarred by the darkness that has consumed it. What a mess. Everyone went haywire.
Fucking pimpled, poop-crusted butt cheeks.
Ron's
Like-
gorilla hands.
Dumbledore holds up that fucking sword for so long, you forget that that's even happening.
It's just the age-old, hysterical idea that the second things go bad, these characters just act irrational out of their minds and just let loose. Which I would say is a perfect way to go into this next one.
Oh,
You are
boy.
all set.
Drew Carey with enthusiasm. I'm gonna like suck at doing these voices. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway, the show where everything's made up and the points don't matter. That's right, the points are just like the importance of following societal norms. The audience chuckles, anticipating the hilarity that is about to ensue. Drew reaches into the hat, pulling out the first card, only to have his smile vanish as he reads it. Survive. A sinister hiss fills the studio as poisonous gas begins seeping in through every vent. Metal shutters abruptly lock down on all the windows and exits, trapping everyone inside. Wait, well, this isn't part of the act, is it? I don't know, but I'm not taking any chances. Without hesitation, Ryan launches himself at Drew, unleashing a barrage of savage blows, blood splattering across the stage. He snatches the gas mask from Drew's battered face and hastily dons it. What the hell is happening? Did somebody plan this? With deliberate movements, Wayne begins to breathe heavily, succumbing to the poisonous gas almost immediately. His actions strangely purposeful. Stay calm, everyone. Hold your breath. Colin stands motionless, his face turning a deep shade of purple as he valiantly fights to maintain consciousness. Meanwhile, Brad Sherwood frantically searches for a solution, his voice trembling with urgency. I have a device that could save us all. Just give me a moment. Before Brad can finish his sentence. Before Brad can finish his sentence, a bolt of lightning from above strikes him down, reducing him to mere vapor. Ryan's eyes well up with tears at this sight. Brad, no! We were supposed to be partners! In a desperate bid for survival, Drew, now wearing the gas mask, notices that some audience members have their own masks. In a shocking turn of events, he retrieves the shotgun from under his desk and begins firing wildly into the crowd. Amid the chaos, Ryan seizes a live grenade from the prop box, his face contorted with rage. He charges toward Drew, the grenade in hand, resulting in a cataclysmic explosion that engulfs the studio, claiming the lives of everyone except Drew, who's left maimed and barely hanging on to life. Scream! Why, God? Why me? Let me live! I beg you! Later, Drew's tortured cries come to an abrupt end as he succumbs to his injuries, leaving behind a scene of devastation and shattered dreams.
Oh shit.
Like Brad getting like struck down by God. Get it, Drew. Get the mask back.
To be like bloodied on that first strike.
Strangely enough, some elements of that are in my final prompts for tonight.
Great minds think alike.
Here we go.
Go back to this old stomping grounds.
The debate begins. Donald Trump and Joe Biden take their positions on the stage, while Chris Wallace stands on the podium as the moderator.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2024 presidential debate. Let's maintain a professional atmosphere throughout the evening. Mr. Trump, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on the current economic situation. Mr. Trump, please answer the question.
Look, Chris, I understand the importance of discussing the economy, but what I truly need right now is a delightful Philly cheesesteak to satisfy my cravings. And some head from a bipolar goth chick wouldn't hurt either.
Mr. Trump, I must insist that we keep this debate focused on policy and issues of national importance.
Fine, if you insist, but let me tell you, there's something else I'm passionate about. Mexican jumping beans. They should never be eaten, believe me.
but they're incredibly fascinating to watch. Tremendous entertainment value. Trump pauses and seems to be entranced by his own thoughts. You know what, Chris? I'm being adventurous today. Watch this. Trump proceeds to swallow a Mexican jumping bean whole and begins choking. Mr. Trump, are you alright? Please, respond to the question. Trump stands motionless, his face turning from orange to red to purple to blue, succumbing to asphyxiation. Chris Wallace, unaware of Trump's ailment, continues to demand an answer.
I think I know what's wrong. Stand back, everyone.
Biden rushes to Trump's side and begins delivering forceful punches to his gut in an attempt to dislodge the bean.
Mr. Biden, please focus on the matter at hand.
Despite Biden's efforts, the bean remains stuck in Trump's throat. In a desperate move, Biden announces his plan.
This is it. I'm gonna save you, Donald.
Biden places his mouth on Trump's lips and begins to suck the bean from his throat. He succeeds, but the bean becomes lodged in Biden's own throat.
Mr. Biden, what are you doing? We need to continue the debate.
Biden stands motionless, unaware of his own choking situation, asphyxiating slowly.
Well, I guess Joe finally sucked something right for once. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I really want that Philly cheesesteak and some head.
This is a tragedy. I've lost all hope for America.
Chris Wallace pulls a snub-nosed 44 revolver from his waistband, puts the barrel in his mouth, and takes his own life, shocking everyone present. Fucking crazy. He just can't escape it. He just obsessed that snub nose. Finally sucked something good for once.
That's why I fucking like lost it so hard when I read yours that had it. Partially in shock that you had like almost the exact same thing happen to Chris, just a different like gun this time.
It's like a slightly different gun. Oh man.
Sadly, there's a lot of like good ones for this, but this is like definitely the best. The only thing that I wanted that kept happening in the other ones was instead of like what Trump like, you know, like said like, oh, like fucking whatever, like, he finally sucks up the right for once, like making fun of Joe after he saved his life. But there were other ones where after Joe got the bean stuck in his throat, like Trump would start fucking like taunting him and being like what's the matter, Joe? Can't even handle one little bean. Like,
This is the first single person to stand still and not do anything. Like what else is new?
sadly, it didn't include the lines explaining that neither one of them knows the universal sign of choking, but
Apparently,
can't win them all.
Biden was able to recognize it. Oh, my last one is short and sweet, and might be the most retarded one that I have. Good luck.
Oh boy. That is very short. Let's see.
It is jam-packed.
Skeet. Okay. I had to like...
Don't read. Please do not read ahead.
I had to like avert my eyes because I saw something, but I had to like stop myself from using this prompt. Let's see here. Picture of money. Ha, gotcha. Pushes the money button on the cash register while a cash register sound effect plays. Big McTitties from McShitties. Points to a spent rod of plutonium on the floor, reminding Jimmy Mr. Hey dude, you missed a spot. I got it. Skeet picks a spent rod of plutonium up. Just a little sodium chloride. Actually, dude. Actually, dude, are you fucking retarded? That's a spent rod of plutonium. He drops his face, revealing his hairy genitals and ass. Watch this. He shoves the rod of plutonium up his ass and starts riding it like a dildo. Oh, morning, Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy. Symptoms of severe radiation sickness set in, and Skeet's skin begins to peel off while he pleads with Jimmy for help, failing wildly. Jimmy, help me, please, I'm dying. Jimmy, witnessing Skeet's suffering, grabs the cash register and repeatedly hits Skeet over the head to put him out of his misery. I'm sorry, Skeet, I have to end your suffering. But not long after, Jimmy too falls prey to radiation sickness and dies.
Hey, I like that one. Everything went wrong.
Are you actually fucking retarded?
This was the hardest one to get it to make. It would just straight up ignore the whole like dildo segment. It refused. I had to go through such hoops and ladders to get it to like make what I had here. But I'm very proud of it. And I'm glad of leaving it like at the end there. I think it was a great way to like end that for mine.
To wrap it up.
Well,
Closing statements.
well, let's decide. Did we outdo ourselves from Christmas? I'd say we did.
That's a hard. I think so. We've had like 6 months to perfect the
formula.
Here.
It's getting to the point where it's like overlapping. Like there's 2 in here where characters said watch this before doing something like death defying. 2 instances of a character blowing their heads off specifically with a snub-nosed revolver.
Of the same character.
Yeah, of the same character.
Blowing their heads off.
And like how many instances has the word asphyxiate and succumb shown up in all these? like fucking 5 times each. How many characters have been choking until they turn purple? Like there's so much overlap. It's like it's ridiculous.
People got like things shoved up their asses.
Yeah, this was like insane levels of like synchronicity here.
Overlap.
Turns out like the peak of humor, it doesn't really stray too far from its roots here. Starts out with us talking about like shoving things in their ass, and there we go.
I have to say, and I know the same statement can be said for you, because I did have a little insider information. I'm surprised that there was no avatar prompts.
I know.
And I know that you are surprised by the same thing, because I'm not gonna lie, when I was talking to your brother last night, he did say, like Ryan is predicting that you have an avatar one. Specifically with Master Yu and Jinfu.
I like felt it.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to get one to work even before he said that.
Well, if we could perfect it for like for the next Christmas.
And the fans will have to wait a grueling 6 months before they get their next dose.
Yeah, their next dose of much of the same.